اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما يا فتاح يا عليم افتح لنا فتحا قريبا. آمين يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll be explaining in today's recording about Idghaam according to Rewaayat Hafs and Asim. So before moving on, let's see what we've learned so far. So we learned what is the definition of Idghaam in general and how to determine the relationship between the two meeting letters. Once we learn that, we'll be in a better position to know how to apply the rule of idgham between the two letters when they come next to each other. So, as we learnt before, that there are two main reasons for idgham. So, idgham is done due to the makhraj and sifat of the two meeting letters, and it is done according to the harakat of the two meeting letters. So, we learn first, when we see the two meeting letters, we need to know what is their relationship. Is it the tamathul? Means are the two letters the same? Same in makhraj and same in sifat? Or are the two meeting letters in their taqarub relationship? Means they are near in makhraj or in sifat? Or both in makhraj and sifat? The third thing that we look at it is whether the two meeting letters are in a tajanus relationship, whether the two letters share the same makhraj but different sifat. We call it tajanus or homogeneous in English. We don't do the idgham when the two letters are in taba'ud relationship, means the two meeting letters are far in makhraj and far in sifat with each other. There is no idgham in such situation. In fact, we do idhar. That's the reason you see a cross is written under it. We also look at the harakat of the two meeting letters. So we see, after determining the relationship in terms of the makhraj and the sifat of the two meeting letters, we also look at the harakas of the two meeting letters. When the first letter is sakin and the second one is mutaharik, this relationship in terms of the harakat is called saghir relationship. If the two meeting letters are both mutaharik, this relationship is called kabir in terms of the harakat. We don't do idgham in this situation here. When the two meeting letters, the first is mutaharik, the second is sakin, this relationship is called mutlaq, and Imam Hafs has not done idgham in this situation. In fact, in any riwayah, the two meeting letters in a mutlaq relationship, there is no idgham. And here, the kabir, as an usul again, Imam Hafs does not do idgham. There are few places where idgham is done, but that is done within the script, within the text, the writing style of the Quran itself. As an usul, Imam Hafs does idgham in a saghir relationship only. So no kabir, no mutlaq, just saghir. Means the first letter has to be sakin, the second one has to be mutaharrik. In this situation, Imam Hafs would do idgham. So we move on, inshallah, to see how Imam Hafs has done idgham. The first one, as you can see it here, idgham al-mutamathilain. So al-mutamathilan means the two, the double, the two letters. Mutamathil means the similar, the same. Mutamathilain means the two similar. So there is idgham of every two meeting letters that are in saghir relationship, means in terms of its haraka, and they share the same makhraj and sifat. As an example, you can see in this circle, قُلْ لَكُمْ. So the lam and the lam, they both are same letters, same makhraj and same sifat. First is sakin, the second is mutaharrik. The reason the second letter has a shadda on it is the indication the first sakin letter has been merged into the second letter. The first is sakin, the second is mutaharrik. In this situation, Imam Hafs has done idgham. He will be merging the first lam into the second so that you read it as one mushaddad letter. قُل لَكُمْ قُل لَكُمْ. There's another example given. The ba is merging into another ba after it. Again, you can see the ba. The first ba is sakin. It is not carrying any sukoon because this is an indication it's been merged into the ba after it, which is mutaharrik, and this ba has a shadda on top of it. So this shadda is an indication that the first sakin letter has been merged into the second mutaharrik letter. فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبْ بِعَصَاكَ الْحَجَرُ. So how would you read when you are explaining the relationship between the two meeting letters and its hukum, means what tajweed rule is applying here? How would you answer? How would you give a complete answer? So you will say the hukum here is idgham صغير. So first you say صغير, meaning you explaining the first letter is sakin and the second is mutaharrik. The moment you say idgham صغير means the first sakin, the second mutaharrik. And it is al-mutamathilain, means there's a similar letter. idgham صغير متماثلين كامل wajib. It's kamil because it's a complete merging. Both the makhraj and the sifat have been dropped into the second letter. So it's kamil. Again, you need to tell it is wajib because in every saghir relationship, Imam Hafs has done the kamil idgham. Another example is rabihat tijaratuhum. The first ta sakin is merging into the second mutaharrik ta. We move on to the next now. So this is an exception to the two letters which look like the similar letters, but in fact there is a ikhtilaf, a difference of opinion amongst the scholars, whether the jawf letters, which are the mad letters, have a separate makhraj or do they share the same makhraj as the non-maddiya letters. So we follow Imam Ibn al-Jazari opinion. So according to him, he has divided the makharij into 17 numbers. So therefore, al-jawf is a separate makhraj, and ya maddiya, as you can see here, is sakin meeting ya mutaharrika. This is غير maddiya letter. So this ya maddiya cannot merge into ya mutaharrika because they don't share the same makhraj. Therefore, there is no idgham between the mad letters followed by a mutaharrik letter. Fi yawmayni amanu wa amilu. So Hafs does what? To prevent the idgham, he has applied mad tamkeen. Mad tamkeen means the mad letter is followed by the similar mutaharrik letter. Means it's a ya sakina, means it's a ya maddiya followed by the ya mutaharika. So this is called mad tamkeen. It's read like mad tabi'i, two harakat stretch, but it's called mad tamkeen. We have idgham al-mutajanisain. Mutajanisain means the two meeting letters, they share the same makhraj but have the different sifats. So Imam Hafs has done idgham mutajanisain in 7 situations only. And these are here. So the ba is merging into the mim. There's only one example of such idgham in the Quran. The letter tha is merging into the dhal when you reading in wasl. Then we have the dal merging into the ta, ta merging into the dal, ta merging into ta, dhal merging into dha, ta merging into da. So how do we read it? Irkam ma'ana. يلهث ذلك كت قد تبين. So two examples of the similar idgham, dal into the ta. أجيبت دعوتكما أجيبت دعوتكما أثقلت دعوى فآمنت طائفة همت طائفتان إذ ظلموا فرطت أحطت بسطت. We need to be careful when we are doing the idgham mutajanisain, because there is a situation where a strong letter is merging into a weaker letter. So although there is idgham, but this idgham might not be complete. This idgham is not complete. A light letter can merge into a heavy letter, a stronger letter completely, but a stronger letter does not completely merge into a weaker letter. So when we're saying the hukm of such idgham, so this idgham can be answered in a way that this is an idgham saghir mutajanisain. If it's a complete merging, we say it's kamil wajib. If it's incomplete merging, then we say naqis wajib. So for example, the last point here you can see farrattu, the ta cannot merge into the ta because ta has all the strong sifat. For example, it has isti'ala, it has itabaq. Those heavy strong characteristics prevent a complete merging of the ta into the ta. So therefore we say it's an incomplete merging. It's called, when you're saying the hukm of idgham in this place, you'll say idgham saghir mutajanisain naqis wajib. Here in all other places you'll say idgham saghir mutajanisain kamil wajib. So only for the ta and the ta it's naqis, but all other places, or the other 6 places, you will say it's kamil. I hope it's clear. Idgham mutaqaribain. Idgham is done between 2 mutaqarib letters in 4 situations only. So the qaf is merging into the kaf, and there is only one place in the Quran, Surah Al-Mursalat, where the qaf is merging into the kaf, and this is kamil idgham according to Rewaayat Hafs. The qaf does not have itbaq, therefore the qalqala is dropped. All the other sifat for the qaf is dropped. You do a complete merging here. Nakhlukum. Lam is merging into ra. Barrafa'ahu. Lam ta'rif is merging into any of the 13 shamsi huruf if they come after it. As-sufuha'u. Tanween or the noon sakina is merging into yarmalu letters, and I'll explain how. So let's understand first the qaf into the kaf. When you see a complete merging, you will notice that the first sakin letter is sakin. It doesn't carry even a sukun symbol, but the second letter is containing a shadda. It means this shadda is an indication the first sakin letter is merging into the second letter completely. Here as well, you can see barra. When you sing barra, you're going straight from the ba to the ra, dropping the lam completely into ra. So ra is carrying a shadda. It is also an indication it's a complete merging. Lam ta'rif. If you are not well aware of the lam ta'rif rule, just remember this lam sakina appears after hamzatul wasl. Okay, so there would always be a hamzatul wasl before this lam sakina. If this lam sakina is merging into a letter after it, this third letter will be containing a shadda on top of it. So if you see after this lam a mushaddad letter, that means there is an idgham happening here, and this letter carrying a shadda is one of the shamsi letters. So you don't read this lam, you go from hamzatul wasl straight to the shadda letter. As-sufaha'u. As-sufaha'u. Okay, so then we have noon sakina or tanween merging into yarmalu letters. As you can see, there's no noon written here. It's not yarmaloon. In that case, would be the noon merging into noon would be like a mutamathil relationship. But we're doing mutaqaribain, means the yarmalu letters dropping the noon of the yarmaloon. We're not adding that. Yarmalu letters ya, ra, mim, lam, and the waw are mutaqarib to the makhraj of the noon, either in makhraj or in sifat. As you can see, if you remember, the makhraj of the noon is tip of the tongue touching the upper gums. The ya is from the nearby makhraj. Ya is from the middle of the tongue. So the tip with the upper gum and the middle of the tongue with the upper palate, they are neighboring letters, means they are mutaqarib. They are near makhraj. Then we have the ra. The ra is also nearer to the makhraj of the ra, of the noon. Ra is nearer to the makhraj of the noon. Mim is not near to the makhraj of the noon because mim is from between the two lips. But mim share at least 3 sifat with the noon. Therefore, we say the mim is mutaqarib to the noon due to their sifat. And the lam, again, the lam is from the near edge of the tongue, including the tip, touching the upper gums. Therefore, it's mutaqarib to the noon in makhraj. And we have to look at the sifat, I think in sifat as well, because the noon and the lam, they have jahar, they have tawassut, they have istifal in fitah. So they share minimum 3 sifat as well. So in makhraj and sifat, lam and the noon, they share the mutaqariban relationship. Waw is again from between the two lips. We will say that the waw is in mutaqarib relationship with the noon due to its sifat. So this is the reason we say either the makhraj and the sifat, or either the makhraj or sifat. The two meeting letters can be in a mutaqarib relationship. When we're doing the idgham can be naqis or a kamil in this situation. It is naqis when the noon is meeting the ya. It's not a complete merging because noon has a gunna, which will stay. It will not be merged. Noon as an oral makhraj will be dropped and it will merge into the ya, but its gunna will stay. So when we're reading this, we read it with the gunna. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. So this idgham saghir mutaqaribain would be naqis. We'll say idgham saghir mutaqaribain naqis wajib. You will also notice that the second letter is not carrying any shadda. So this is another indication noon is not fully merged into the ya. Mir Rabbi, noon is fully dropped into the ra. It's a kamil idgham because the second look is carrying a shadda as well. Mim musibatin, noon is fully dropped into the mim, so a complete merging. Allah, complete merging. Min waliyin, incomplete merging. Waw is not carrying a shadda. So we have 2 noon into the ya, noon second into the waw, a naqis idgham. For all these 3 places, we have a kamil idgham done here. So how do you answer? If it's kamil, you'll say idgham saghir mutaqaribain kamil wajib. In case of naqis, you'll say idgham saghir al mutaqaribain naqis wajib. I hope this session will be helpful for you to learn more about the idgham, inshallah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.